Imagine you're only here if you've got trades. So let's get into it. The hooking position, it's basically little or bust. Basically, it's the same in fantasy, same in Supercoach right now. There's really no upside in this position outside of little at the moment. Cook's up against Panthers. I don't rate that. So yeah, just not a fun position right now. So we'll skip that basically entirely. My only problem here is if Watson plays on the bench, and then I've got Brayley as well. So might just have to stick with that position. And the front row forwards, it's Tapine, it is AFB. They're your main top dogs. You've got Barnett, who's had a rough couple of weeks, but I think he could still deliver here in your head-to-head final. So they'd be the two guys. And then obviously, if Payne Haas was to play, he'd be an awesome pick as well. If he doesn't, you've got guys like Jensen, who are still doing great work. He's got 2 big scores in the last 3 weeks there, coming off a try a couple of weeks ago into the 79. In that last clash, if you want to go for Cotter, if you needed someone at a cheaper price at $4.91, it's pretty wild for a 1 week or 2 week play there. And you do have Max King, who had a very slow start to his return game there as well. So that is the front row forward spot. Pretty simple there. If you're looking for upside in the second row forward, Crichton is your guy. I've personally got Paddy Carrigan. He's had a couple of nice weeks there, and it was just all in base last week, which is pretty wild. Kaipi Paul is an easy one you can sell. I imagine a lot of us have cash left since moving on from Nathan Cleary there. If you're looking at top average guys, it's obviously Fafita and it's Crichton. Crazy that Fafita is still that guy, even though his last 5 games have been a 66 average. So does he score a try? Does he do well against the Knights this week? That's the big question. And a 664K, if you still don't own, you can definitely pay for it to find out. That's for sure. Isaiah Yeo, can he get some attacking stats against the Souths again? You definitely can, and he's at a cracking 3-round average of 83.3 there. Eli Katoa's out this week, so I do think you hold him for that last week, given he scored well last week there. I do think Britton Nicker is the guy that you want to target this week. 98 last week. He's been scoring tries very regularly. Last 3 in a row he scored, and he's up against the Wars this week, who I think will put up a fight, but I do think Nicker can score well again. Hudson Young against Roosters, less exciting this week. And Colin Matangi goes back to the 13 role most likely in this one here, where he was prospering. He was doing really, really well before he moved back to the edge. He did have that one good game last week with a try, but the week before last, and then last week was pretty poor with a 33. Some guys of interest, Jeremiah Nanai definitely has some upside this week as a 1 week play. Dylan Lucas against the Titans on the edge, along with Bofo Moore with his 88 there. Last week, they're all in a position where they could do well. Preston also in that same spot now. I don't think he'll be resting this week, so he's someone that you can target there as well in the second row forward slot, and then not too much else outside of that. And yeah, can sell who you like. Basically, you're looking to sell anyone who doesn't have a lot of upside in that situation. If you were deciding to sell Hughes, I'm personally got 2 trades left. I could sell Hughes, but I think he'll be important next week. Matt Burton is clearly the top dog at the moment. You could go for DCE, but I'm not liking him as much against the Dogs. Didn't like it last week when I brought him in either for that 41. But Sam Walker has 2 really lower teams on the ladder anyway in Canberra this week, and then Dolphins the week after, I believe. So should be a fun little couple of games, or maybe Titans. Scratch that, work it out. How about I just look? That'd be smart, Jamie. They've got Rabbitohs. That's probably even better. Even better for that last game. So he can get plenty of goals and hopefully some attacking stats there. So Walker and Burton are the 2 top dogs. You got Jake Clifford, who had a cracker last game before the bye. He's an interesting one. Ben Hunt, still a really solid pick over the last 2 weeks. Didn't score great with a 50 last week, but he's in good pasture and a good chance of going well. And then Adam Reynolds at 512k. He's so cheap there, but he could definitely go well these last 2 weeks. The last 2, he's done great for a 74 average, but outside of that, since his return has been a little bit low. And then expect Wishart to do fairly well this week, but coming out of 9, not the 6 role. In the 5'8 slot, if you were to sell like a Plath, for example, like I've got as a potential sell in my team and carrying a bit of a calf niggle, you do have Campbell up against the Knights, I think is a solid pick, but he hasn't been scoring well in recent history. Burton is still the guy. And then I think for the last round, it's going to be Dill Brown. For this round, as a head-to-head finals perspective, you do have Munster. It's a really fun one there. And yeah, Nicho Hines, I suppose, in the halfback slot, which we missed there. He's potentially back in this one as well, which could be ideal there. And Dane Laurie's actually been moved out of that side, so you can't pick him now in that position at the moment. So that's the 5/8. Just a few options there. All can do really solidly. I think the centre wing is where you want to target this week, clearly. Whether that's, upgrading a guy that's been marginal. You've got guys like Holmes, Iro, Lomax, all really good targets this week. I think Greg Marzu hopefully has a better week, given he's in my side. Garrick's a little bit annoying at the moment. We'll still play him, but I'm not super excited about it. You've got Casey McLean as an easy sell. If you have, my scenario, I got 415k, I can get him to any gun. So let's have a look at that. If we're looking straight off averages, you've got Kiraz, you've got Young, and you've got Gagai. I think they're three terrific picks, and then guys like Brian To'o could come out with a banger as well. And Daniel Tupou. They're the guys you want to look at. I think you can leave Herbie for this week and target these other guys. Like Dom Young had a 35 last week, but he could go nuts this week. Dan Gagai went massive last week, and I think he can do well again up against the Titans. So they have two really nice matchups, and Kiraz is a little bit harder. So I'd probably go Lomax first. I think Val's a really good pick this week. And then you've got Gagai, Young as the next two guys, third and fourth, with To'o at like fourth or fifth as options for you guys. It's based on matchups and if they're going to play the next two games. But I'd expect guys like Lomax, Young, Gagai, and To'o to have really, really good chances of big scores. And then Val could be up or down. His 3-round average is 112. So he could definitely go nuts against the Melbourne, who are a little bit under strength. That's for sure. And that's as far as I'd go in this position there. Daniel Tupou, as I said, at 687. He's averaging just under 85 for the last 3 rounds, which is absolutely crazy. And then, Beau Fermor obviously can go between spots, and Stone Street had a good game last week. And then in the fullback slot, the only luxury one you could do, I've got Teddy and Turbo. Turbo's just playing way too good to trade out, in my opinion, but I do think Ponga would be that guy if you did want to move on from someone. Ponga has the best chance this week of going for a big ton, and then guys like Keanu Keeney can continue to score well as also, but I think it'd be hard to go past Teddy, Turbo, and also Kalen Ponga in round 26 as your captains or big upside guys. And I think Teddy is the best captain over Turbo. But Turbo served me well last week, so that was good fun as well. But there you go, guys. That's just a quick buy, hold, sell for Supercoach in round 26. I hope this helps you guys out, and I hope you use your last couple of trades or one trade or 0 trades wisely. See you guys.